Well, fuel retailers say they're facing challenges with the petroleum supply chain, which has led to fuel shortages. They've subsequently threatened a shutdown. Fuel Association CEO Reggie Sibiya joins us now to talk about the severity of the problem and what can be done. Reggie, good morning, and thanks so much for your time. So the problems with the petroleum supply chain, what exactly is happening there?
Since the introduction of level 3 of the lockdown, we've been experiencing ongoing shortages on diesel and then lately on ULP93. And it's really been mainly in the Gauteng area and some inland areas. It also seems to be more on some brands than others. 50% of Shell retailers were affected, 50% of Caltech retailers were affected. So it looks like, though there is a problem, these two companies, Caltech and Shell, seems not to be actually managing the problem very well.
All right. So
now, this is actually quite concerning.
Reggie, as far as you know, is it a problem that can be helped? Is it a matter of just getting, and you say the problem is being experienced in Gauteng mostly, is it a transportation problem, or is there an actual shortage at the source? What is your understanding of what's actually happening there?
Look, the current problem now is that the pipeline is being tampered with people trying to steal the product. But it is the recent development. The initial cause of the shortages was that during level 5 and level 4, some of the refineries were closed down. So when level 3 came back, then they were not ready to actually meet the demand. And for us as retailers, it's actually quite a mockery because during level 5 and level 4, we were operating at 20% of the volumes that we normally do. So our profits were actually under serious strain, and we were not giving any assistance, getting any assistance even from the department. And we are saying now, this issue of fuel shortages has been here for a long time. And the key the key or the root cause is that we do not have enough storage capacity, especially here inland. It can't happen that every time we've got an interruption at a refinery or in a pipeline, then the retailers are held at ransom because there's no fuel. It just says that if we had actually enough storage capacity, we would be able to mitigate most of these problems.
Right,
we're not saying...
Yeah. Reggie, so you believe that something can be done about this? It is a problem that can be solved. And you speak of theft, and is that a fact? Is that happening? Have investigations shown that?
Well, what we hear is that, yes, there is evidence of the product theft. But the point I'm saying is that those interruptions probably take about 6 to 7 hours to fix. But the shortages have been going in for weeks. And the Morane Commission, which was done around 2006, revealed this issue, that until we have enough storage capacity, especially in the inland areas, we will never be able to deal with this issue of fuel shortages.
All right, so who needs to do what, Reggie?
That
who needs to do what at the moment to prevent a shutdown, a shutdown by fuel retailers?
Well, the storage capacity is squarely on the oil companies and to some extent to the government. The government needs to hold the oil companies accountable. It is the responsibility of the government to ensure that there is enough storage capacity to actually deal with issues when there are crises. And they have not been held accountable for all these years.
So
that's why we keep on...
Reggie, what is the ultimatum here then? When will you go on a lockdown? When is on a shutdown, I beg your pardon. When will your fuel retailers go on that shutdown? When are you planning for this? What's the deadline you've given them to solve this?
No, what we're saying now is that we've been speaking to the government. We've been speaking to the oil companies for a long time on these issues of fuel shortages. We've been speaking to them about the issues of margins. We've been speaking to them about the issues of our cost, like the credit card cost. We've been speaking to them about the proliferation of service stations. All these things that are always impacting on the profitability of the service stations. And it doesn't look like, fuel retailers are being taken seriously. So we are really now saying, well, with all these engagements, we've been patient enough. And if there is no improvement in our margins, if there is no improvement in the supply of the product, if there is no improvement in the way in which, we interact as the industry, what then is the alternative? We are actually left with no other language, maybe to speak to both our government and our oil companies to start taking us seriously, because, retailers are just on their own. And retailers have got to wake up and realize that until they take issues on their hand, the government really could not even help them in the most dire situation during level 5 and level 4 lockdown. Right. And they were forced to operate because they were part of essential services. It looks like retailers will always just become the victims of the systems and service, the volumes and the market share of the oil companies while they are actually running at a loss.
All right, Reggie, we'll have to leave it there for now. Thanks very much for that. Another story that we'll have to keep an eye on.